Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming. Those of you that don't know me, I'm Amy Rose, your activities coordinator here at the Council on Aging. And I'm honored to welcome our sponsor, Aaron, who's with HP Legacy. Some of you joined us last month when we did gingerbread decorating with him and
Any familiar faces?
I don't know, maybe.
I didn't get the invite.
Aw.
Sorry. It was fun though.
And I'm going to hand over the mic to Aaron to introduce Liz.
Sure.
Thanks for coming.
Hi guys, thank you everyone for coming. This is sponsored by HP Legacy Care Group. This is our company. We work with Liz to provide meditation, some holistic therapies to patients, also to the community on a volunteer basis because we want to give back, we want people to be involved, and we want people to take care of themselves. Feel free, I brought some brochures. I don't force them on anyone, but feel free to grab one if you have a friend or a family member in need. We provide home health, CNA, private nursing. We also provide physical therapy in the home, and this is for people to maintain their well-being and remain in their home because that's everyone's goal at the end of the day. I'll let Liz introduce her amazing self, and we will get started. All right.
Well, I've already started chatting away because that's what I do. I'm a talker. So when Aaron asked me to come here and be part of this experience and share with you, I was excited. And then I thought, I'm going to be in a room full of people that have a lot to teach me, right? You have been through things and are going through things that I have yet to experience. But then I really thought, we're all human. And we all go through change. And our bodies all go through a lot of change. And through that, we need to find practices and ways to manage that emotionally, mentally, and physically. And I found mindfulness and meditation to really be the one thing that has been the most consistent thing to help me through challenge, change, loss, loneliness, depression, illness, breaking things, my body doing things and giving up, and really having, holding on to that, right? We hold on to things that have changed. But also for the positive things, helping me find joy, helping me find peace and calm, and being able to cultivate that feeling without anything on the outside. And so I now am lucky to be able to teach and guide others. It's a huge passion of mine to give back. I work with the Brigham and Women's Hospital every week, and I work with patients giving them Reiki in the hospital rooms. And they are probably in some of the worst states that they'll be in and very vulnerable. And so what I witness and what I see is as we change and our bodies kind of do their own things, anxiety, pain, stress, and sleeplessness are the top things that people kind of complain about and have trouble in a hospital or even at home overcoming. And so practices that use mindfulness and meditation can help with recovery of illness, of anything going on by reducing stress, cortisol, everything that's happening in the body. Medical professional can tell you. He's the medical mind here. It allows us to create a state of ease in the body to heal faster. And beyond the health aspect of it, what mindfulness and meditation can do is increase your focus, memory. I have a terrible memory. And beyond that, it can help connection, relationships. And so some of the practices we're going to do today, there's some things that you might be able to think about doing with other people. How many of you have grandchildren? Children in your life that you interact with, even if they're not grandchildren. So as you probably see them on their screens, running around doing a million things, these might be some activities that you could think about doing with them, helping them to start being mindful in their youth, and they'll remember that. I think if I started to have those tools when I was younger, I would have had a jump start on things. So I find that working with them as well with breath might be a way that you can connect with them when you spend time with them and get them to focus too, because we all need a little bit of it. So we're going to do a variety of practices today that you may have or may have not done just yet. And then we'll talk about ask questions. I'd love to hear feedback as you do them, what you might have experienced or what was challenging. And the only rules I have are cell phones off, ring, and no judgment. No judgment of self, no judgment of each other. If someone laughs or thinks something silly or wants to leave, it is what it is. We're all here to kind of show up and experience together. So the first few exercises we're going to do is working with breath. Have you guys done breath work before in some of your mindfulness and meditation classes? So breath is the easiest thing. We take it everywhere with us. It's free. So it's the easiest thing we can work with at any point in time. People don't need to know you're doing any of the practices either. Driving in my car, I do a lot of these things, or dealing with people I don't like, or challenging work, those kinds of things. I find that the breath work can really be helpful. So I'm going to set this down. Hopefully, I don't know if we have a stand, but... So it's up to you. We're going to do a standing breathwork exercise. If you want to stay in your chair, you can do that too. But we're going to do a moving breathwork where we move our breath up as we inhale. Arms are going to reach up if you can. And as we exhale, we're going to imagine moving the exhale down. And we're going to connect with our breath that whole time. Okay, so that can easily be done in the chair as well. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start by kind of charging and warming up our hands, right? Think about building energy in here, heat. And if you want to stand, you can. If not, we're going to breathe in. Reaching up if you want to look up, and as you exhale when you're ready, then start to bring the hands close to the body. If you want to close your eyes as you bring it down. Again, we're just going to keep cycling through, breathing in. Imagine like you're lifting that air into the body. See if you can get your hands close to the body and see if you can even feel that energy moving. Up. And imagine drawing and exhaling it all. Breathing in, calm. Exhaling, release, letting go. And if you're thinking thoughts or wondering why we're doing this, just notice and let that go a few more times. And last one. And exhale it all out and come to a seat. If you're working with your grandkids and you want to do that, they're running around, tell them to grow tall like a tree and then come down and bring those down. The reason why we do movement and why I wanted to do that was we're running around. We're moving, we're getting here, we're thinking about, are we going to be on time, are we going to be late, is there going to be parking? So our body is moving, but our mind's going in another direction. It's over here. What's for dinner? What's for lunch? Dessert? And so when we bring breath and body moving together, if you do Tai Chi or yoga or anything, if you can follow your breath throughout your work, throughout your walk that you're doing, you bring the mind and body together and you slow things down. So even your breath changes a little bit. So let's notice where our breath is. Let's bring a hand to our chest here and and one to our abdomen. And not forcing anything. If you want to close your eyes to kind of really hone in, you can. And just start to notice where your breath is moving in your body. Are you having a full breath? Is it really going into the belly and the chest? And then we're going to do a full breath. We're going to breathe in on our next inhale into the belly and then pulling that breath into the chest and hold for just a second. And then we release from chest to belly. So filling up everything from belly. Release like a wave. Keep going your own pace. Fill your belly first. Release from chest to belly. Continue. And then release control and just come back to noticing your breath. Did anything change from when we first started that exercise to after it? Does it feel a little slower, softer? Maybe your arms are tired. You can bring them down. This diaphragm is a very important muscle, right? When we're stressed out, we're going to the doctor, we're anxious, driving in traffic. Our breath gets hung up here in our chest. It sits here. Sometimes feels like an elephant sitting on my chest. We're kind of tightening and everything's living within here. And so in order to kind of tell that diaphragm to just chill out a little bit, let us breathe, let us just be here wherever we are, sometimes we need to physically try to expand it and move it. And that's why we do that full breath. Because I can tell you throughout my day, I'm definitely not doing a full belly breath. With your grandkids, the fun part, so if you have them when they're going to take a nap or going to sleep, have them place a little animal on their belly and tell them to make that animal move up and down. So have them create that wave, filling their belly first, bringing it up, and then holding. It gives them a visual of what's happening. It keeps their attention, it keeps them focused. And you could do it too if you have an animal or a cat maybe at home that likes to sit on top of you. They do, those little buggers. They're always like coming after. So sometimes it's not just breathing, we have to actively move our breath. So moving when we stand up is great, and when we are sitting down, we can do that too. Breath control is also a way for us to get control of what's happening, our thoughts, our feelings. So counting our breath and putting our focus one-pointedly, fully on our inhale and fully on our exhale. Have any of you done a counted breath before? So you count your inhale, you hold it if you can, or just pause, and then you exhale counting the same amount. So we'll do a 4, hold for a second, and then a 4 at the end. And this is a good breath if we need to focus on anything, if you want to get your mind from racing or running around, or just have a little bit of a mindful practice, whatever you might be doing. So an equal count breath. So Just a regular inhale and a regular exhale right now. And our next breath, we're going to count in for 4. Hold briefly and exhale for 4. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Inhale. Slight pause. Exhale. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Continue a few more on your own and see if you can find your own count. And if you can pause at the top, that's really where the stillness, that juiciness is. Slow exhale. When you're ready, release control of that and now notice what's going on with your breath. Anyone feeling really calm right now? Want to take a nap? I do. Our breath is very powerful. You notice when you're happy, it speeds up a bit. When you're stressed or anxious, whatever's going on, it changes. And it's directly driven by our lovely mind. So if we can bring them together and slow them down for a little bit and find that stillness, then we can kind of recover. And I'd like to say we take control, but I'm not really sure we ever take control of what's running around up here. One last breath that we'll do, that's a really great breath for if you're having some trouble falling asleep. Do you ever like moan when you're sick and you're like, and it makes you feel better? Just kind of like moany. I do it sometimes. And I do it and my boyfriend's just like, stop. But it's called a bumblebee breath. We're going to breathe in and we're going to make a one more. How was that? Silly, but the vibrations are very calming and relaxing. Do that before we usually lay down for some meditation just to get people kind of calm. But that's a fun one to do with the kids too. Let's make bumblebee sounds and just calm. It gets everything active again, the body, but not in a state of excitement, more of a calming relaxation. Sound is definitely something we're going to get into at the end, and it can be very relaxing and healing. And so when you add it with the breath, it can be even better. So any questions or any comments before we move on to the next? Nope. Well, before we get too relaxed and then get into our meditation, body scan, and sound, we're going to do the raisin exercise. So if you want to help me, take out a raisin, try to just dump 1 or 2 in your hand and pass it along. Okay. And you're going to pretend like this is the first time that you've seen a raisin ever. How many raisins? 2. Oh, 2. If you're hungrier, there will be plenty left over. But imagine you have never seen a raisin before. Oh, she's...
I just started to, but I went, nah.
Okay. So imagine you just came to Earth and someone handed you, yeah, just dump a few out. And can I have some? Oh, you took 4. I said 2. It wasn't. Yes, I didn't want your fingers in there. It is flu season, and I did get my flu shot, so I'm sure you did too.
Yeah, I did.
So this is about observing normal things. Mindfulness is more than sitting down and doing a meditation or sound. It's about trying to be mindful in the routine daily things of life: brushing teeth, showering, walking, looking at trees. And so this is just about exploring something we never stop to look at. We just pop in our mouth. How many of us watch TV and eat at the same time? We're not really thinking and putting any energy into the food that we're eating. And so this is just an observation. So this is your own experiment, and this is where the no judgment part comes in, because you're going to have thoughts like, what are we doing? And just set those aside. And so we're going to start exploring the 5 senses with this raisin as our subject. We have never seen a raisin before. I'm going to tell you about this raisin. So this raisin went through a lot to get into your hand right here. Start to think about what it took to get this raisin in our hand. A seed needed to be planted into soil that has been tilled and been around for years and years and years, and took nutrients, and it took the sunshine, and it took wind, and it took rain to blossom into something. And then we basically put it under some more sun and shriveled it. And so now start to explore the crinkles, like the shine of it. It's shiny. How big is your raisin there? And is it soft? Does it move and change its shape when you look at it or touch it? Do you think one is tasting different than the other? If you have 2 in your hand or more? And now start to really touch it, and you like feel the grooves. And just simply focusing on a sensation of something on your fingers and in your hand. It bears really no weight, but you can feel it when it's sitting there. One's definitely softer than the other. This one's crunchy. And notice what you observe about it. Anything you never noticed before. Can you like find the place where the stem was? And without putting it up your nose? How many kids have had raisins up their nose? I'm sure you've got a few out. Can you smell it? Does it bring back any memories? Liking them, not liking them? Yogurt covered ones? Ooh. Chocolate covered ones? Okay, now this one might be the harder one. Hearing it. So if you have, ooh. Can you hear like it's crinkly. Oh, maybe the microphone will pick it up. It has a noise to it. A raisin has a noise. Yeah. I would have never thought. This raisin has a noise. I never noticed that. Okay, so not in our nose, not in our ears. So this is going to be a challenge. Put it in, so start to put it in your mouth, but don't chew it yet. I know your fingers are all over it, so I'm sorry, but. And just move it around your mouth. You can't taste anything yet, right? You're starting to taste the sweetness. I can't taste it yet. You feel the grooves. And it feels like it's plastic to me. But what do you notice? Do you want to eat it? Yeah. And start to chew it and move it around. See if your salivating started. Feels tough, a little tough. Welcome, come on in. How did it feel to eat that raisin? Was it enjoyable? More enjoyable than if you just were popping them in? Now just try to mindfully eat the next one and what that would mean for you. What does mindful eating mean for you? Now that we're thoroughly unimpressed with our raisins. So you've done it before? So it wasn't a surprise. Had you done the raisin before? Had anybody else done the raisin exercise before? So the first time I did it, I was like, what are we doing? Like, what do you have me doing? So the second time you do it, you're like, okay, I know how to be mindful to it. But our food is an opportunity to be mindful how many times a day? And even just the first few minutes of it, it does not need to be your whole meal. I mean, it's a social time that we spend with family, with friends, being with each other, and sometimes just decompressing. So starting off your food with just noticing where it came from, how it got there. And so when you're noticing your food and you're thinking about all the things it can do to nourish your body, to give yourself energy, it's like you're infusing that intention in the food when you're eating it. And I know that might seem a little bit up here, but when imagine you're eating something and you're angry and you're having a heated conversation about something, or you're watching the news and you have feelings about it, of whatever you're talking about or whatever you're seeing, and then you're eating, you're very disconnected, right? Your mind is thinking one thing and your body is taking in this nourishment that's beautiful, that grew, that got here, that gave a life, whatever it did. And so there's this opportunity to shift the way that we actually look at putting things inside of our bodies that become us. Our food, we eat a banana. In 10 minutes, the banana is us. It's no longer a banana. So if we can kind of focus on what that banana was, because it's going to become us. The nutrients go into our body and feed us and all of those vitamins. So it's just this really neat opportunity to sit and think about and have a practice. If you are interested in being mindful and eating is something that you enjoy doing, or you want to maybe find more joy in eating, if you've lost appetite or really not feeling like it and you need to, can you just imagine it as this source of nourishment, of healing? We all have to eat. Maybe if we have a medication or something that we're taking and we just don't feel like it, how can we change that experience and make it something a little bit more beneficial to us? So you're welcome to keep the raisins. I don't need them back. Anything else? Any other questions on that or comments? Aaron doesn't want his other raisin.
I just want to make sure we have a microphone. More comments?
No? Okay. We are going to start working with a body scan. So this is a mindfulness practice that's very easy to do. You're welcome to close your eyes Or if you want a soft gaze, you can do that. But we're going to start to just notice our breath in our body. Again, just reacquainting ourselves with that inhale and the exhale. And imagine you are surrounded by this really bright light. Imagine a beautiful sun is shining and this light is all around you. And as you breathe in, you're breathing in this light that we send throughout our whole body. And this light has its power to relax us, to dissolve stress or anxieties or thoughts. And as we exhale, it all just leaves us. So begin to notice the breath coming into the nostrils. Imagine sending that light with the breath down to your feet and begin to notice your toes, feeling your foot connected to the floor. Perhaps you can sense the fabric of your socks, the structure of your shoes. And as we scan our body, if there's any place that feels pain or tension, I offer you to just simply notice it and try not to attach to that pain or whatever it is. Breathing in and now sending that light down to the ankles. These ankles offer so much flexibility and movement to us. So just simply notice them for all they do. Breathing in, begin to send that light down to the shins and the calves. Perhaps feeling the fabric of your pants. Breathing in and noticing the knees, the front and the back of them. Bringing awareness to the thighs and the back of the thigh. Feeling your connection with the chair. Can you relax anything further in your legs? Breathing into the low back. Again, as you feel anything or sense anything, just notice. Try not to focus on it. Coming back to that breath, noticing it. Feel the connection with the chair behind you. Begin to follow your back, up the spine, mid-back. Imagine each vertebrae relaxing with your will and your breath and your focus. Softening the belly and breathing into this space where so much happens. There's so many organs that live in here. Just imagine breathing in, letting anything go that you might be holding on to, both physically or emotionally. And following, connecting to your heart center. Breathing into that space. And imagine there is a window on the front of your heart that you just fling wide open. And you let that light come in as you breathe. As you exhale, dissolving anything heavy. And just be with that feeling for a moment of what that would be like. Breathing into the throat, the shoulders, allowing them to maybe fall away from the ears just a little bit, settling down. Breathing in and noticing the arms, the upper arm, the forearm. Feeling your connection perhaps with your legs if they're resting on them. Moving down to the fingers, can you feel the temperature of the room? Feel any sensations? Bringing awareness to the jaw and relaxing any of the muscles. Perhaps allowing the tongue to touch the roof of the mouth or fall away, whichever allows you to just settle. Softening the muscles in the face, the cheeks, allowing the eyes to just be, not forcing them open or closed. The forehead, and thinking of the crown and any sensation you might feel. And begin to bring your whole body into your awareness. That each part interacts and relies on the other. That your mind tells you when you're feeling pains and has the ability to alert you, to tell you when you're hungry or hurting, or tired or filled with energy. Bring your awareness just back to your breath for another moment or two. Imagine your breath moving throughout your body, each inch. You breathe in, it gets sent down all the way to your toes, your fingers, to the crown of your head. When you're ready, open your eyes and come back unless you're napping. How was that? Did you have a lot of thoughts going on during it? In and out? But you could bring yourself back. And that's what mindfulness is. Like going to the gym. You're not good at it the first time, the first rep. You don't get a muscle by lifting one thing. You have to do it over and over. And body scans are really great before bedtime. You can imagine you're laying on your favorite beach. If you like the ocean, and just imagine the waves coming up to your toes and then going back out, coming up to your knees and going back out. And you can do that whole thing and then just imagine that wave taking you out and just drifting. It's really great if you wake up in the middle of the night and can't fall back asleep. That's been a problem most of my life because this ticker just starts going of all the things. So the breath exercises and that body scan are really helpful for sleeping and settling in. Not while you're driving, please. Or at the dentist. I don't like the dentist. So when I go there, I'm like feet, toes. And usually I'm able to make it through without being so worried, when you're having something go on. But body scans are great too. And do those with your grandchildren. I like them. How's everyone feeling? Ready for nap time? Great. So we're going to use some sound now for a sound meditation. How many of you have a meditation practice or have done a meditation practice before? It can be challenging, right? Thoughts come in and out. I say it looks like a little like an EKG. It's like I'm here and then I'm up and then I'm down and I'm looking and thinking about this and your mind's running around. It's what it was meant to do. Sound has a really powerful way of helping us to not run around like a hamster in our heads with our thoughts. And it can allow us to just let it go and focus on the different sounds that are being made. If any of the sounds bother you, you can either let me know by and I'll move away because I'm going to come around and bring them a little bit closer to you. So if anything bothers you, you can step away too, if anything, okay? So there's no problem there. I'm going to have a little bit of water and then we're going to start with our eyes closed and we're going to begin again, always with the breath. It's where it all begins. And I'm going to offer you the opportunity to use a mantra. Very, very simple. Thich Nhat Hanh, in, out. So in your mind, as you breathe in, you silently say in. And on the exhale, you say out. In and out aren't thoughts. They're just a thing for us to use in our practice of meditation. So I offer you that while we're sitting here. If you find your mind running or doing something, try as you breathe in, just following it with the in and following it with the out, and see if that's helpful. When your mind goes to something else that is not the sound or this practice, come back to breath first, then start to attach your in and your out. Okay? You can create your own mantra too. It can be, I am peace. I am peace. So I am silently on the inhale, peace on the exhale. So you can create your own if you'd like to, but I love the in and out. It's very simple. So we'll start by just gently closing our eyes. Again, connecting and finding the breath. Maybe feeling it come into the nostrils, and can you feel it travel up the bridge of the nose? And if you're ready to use a mantra, you can begin with your next inhale, following it with in and out. Sort of like the waves coming onto the shore in and returning back to the ocean out. Noticing all the sounds of the wind, the leaves hitting the windows. And imagine we are now sitting in front of that ocean, and those waves are take a moment to just reconnect your mind, your breath. And I offer you gratitude for showing up here today, for taking time to just be, moment to moment, exploring our breath, different practice, our thoughts. Just noticing what might have changed from when you walked in this room. And that's the work that we do with mindfulness, is to just be without judgment. Just experience whatever comes up at that time. And every single time can be different. You might eat a raisin tomorrow and might be magical. Who knows? Thank you all for your time. If you have any questions, I'm here for you. You're welcome.
Does anyone have questions for Elizabeth before?
When you exhale, do you exhale with your mouth open and go
With your nose.
with your nose?
Just
Because
with your
I
nose.
was always told you inhale and then you go.
You can, it can help control it, but the practice that I teach is all through the nose. Unless you're gonna do, there's an exercise that's good for energy, and you breathe in. It's trying to just get it all out, that's stale. But everything is really through the nose that I practice.
And then
that I
also
teach.
the diaphragm.
Yeah. Yeah, really feeling that, like, because it's a muscle, it gets tense and it causes so much. And to get it in, sometimes we have to get extra, right? Yeah, the diaphragm is interesting. Yeah.
I heard a a low-toned echo when you use, I guess, I didn't have my eyes open, so I wasn't sure what you were using.
These?
The bowls.
Yeah, they have different metals in them. And so when they vibrate, they can make that like wah wah kind of thing go on here. And as they travel through and how you experience them in your ear, everyone can experience them differently, but they will kind of wah wah or echo a little bit. Yeah, they can be fun. Well, thanks for putting up with me and my raisins. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for
Have a
coming.
beautiful rest of your day.